Recording has started.
This is what I get for eating junk.
Okay. We have a volume.
Volume.
Yes. I'm gonna have you intro.
All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Next Apex podcast. My name is Josh. I'm joined here alongside Mr. Donovan Tompkins.
Hello.
Be sure to, if you do enjoy the episode, of course, be sure to share it with a friend of yours, specifically car guy friends. Of course, they're going to get the most out of it. We are a car podcast after all.
Mm-hmm.
But this week, I haven't been paying attention at all this week, I'll be honest. All I know is that a certain car that I was kind of anticipating to get revealed has finally been revealed.
Yes.
And that's all I've seen this week.
That's okay. I'll lead you through it, Josh.
Good.
And we also have the poll.
We do have the poll.
In fact, it's the finale.
It is the final
It
poll.
is the final.
It is the final poll.
We're gonna have a winner of the best sports car between 50 and 70K.
Finally.
Yes.
It's been a minute.
We'll get to that at the end. We're going to go through the news first, as we typically do. Few articles I have this week.
Okay.
Sometimes we like to throw these random ones in here.
Oh boy, is that what we're starting with?
Yes.
Oh gosh.
And I know you can see my screen, and it looks kind of...
All I see is a bunch of matrices. Like, I'm a little bit... Oh, it's a Tesla thing.
It is a Tesla thing.
And it's Elon Musk saying freaking laser beams.
Yes.
What? Why? Please explain.
Because this week, Tesla filed a patent for laser windshield wipers.
What?
Yes. So instead of having a physical blade, rubber blade, going across your window, we could potentially see laser beams being projected that apparently clean the windshield.
Okay, but, like, so... I guess my major question is... Actually, I have three.
Okay.
Two.
Go ahead.
First off...
I can't promise I have an answer for you, but...
First off, is it safe?
I mean... as long as it's not directed towards the driver.
Well, and then second off, I mean, the other problem is visibility. Like, because that screen there, that picture there.
Well, the picture, yeah, I mean.
Well, yeah, but if it ends up actually looking like that.
No. You can get, I think you can project certain laser beams that don't actually project
Light
that are visible to humans at least. Yeah.
Right, so it'd have to be like an ultraviolet.
Something, I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
I'm not either, but I can tell you that particular picture that's on your screen right now.
Right, yeah, obviously
I
not
can't
looking
see
like
forward.
Yes. Obviously, it's not going to look like this picture that we see in the article. But yeah, and apparently it's not just for like water. It can also clean off debris.
Okay, well, that's...
Or actually, it mainly
wiper.
says debris. It doesn't actually say for rain. But then, like, what's the point? If you're still going to have windshield wipers.
So that's just as useful as a wiper. I feel like we're back at the stage of why try fixing something that doesn't need fixing.
Oh, absolutely. This is definitely extra. I mean, the one advantage, which if they got it right, is that if it works in the rain, then you don't constantly have this blade that's going across your vision.
Fair enough.
If you don't see the laser beams, and it's just if it just propels the water off, that would be kind of cool.
Rain X.
I mean, it works. It works, but imagine it being completely clear all the time without any.
Okay,
wiper.
if it works that way, I can agree that would be a very good improvement.
Cool. It'd be cool, and it would be a little safer for that.
Again, if it works that way,
right?
I can agree that would be a very good improvement.
If I had to guess, that's probably the goal. That's the goal, is that these laser beams can be projected the entire time, and without covering the windshield,
Right.
like a windshield wiper,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's just clean the whole time.
Hmm.
And it also they could also project it to where it gets the whole windshield.
Right.
You know how the windshield wipers only get its projected area.
Right. Okay. I mean,
It's extra.
it is extra. It's very extra. Even like Mercedes Extendy Boy wipers.
Right.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean like the ones that come out the front bumper, or?
No.
Okay.
So Mercedes for years has used this wiper design
Mm-hmm.
that like tries to get as much of the
okay.
windshield as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
So it literally like pushes the wiper up, the wiper blade up,
Yeah.
so that way it reaches more of the windshield. Is it helpful?
Maybe.
Yeah, I guess.
But it's especially helpful
like-
to Mercedes pocketbook because you have to go to Mercedes dealer for windshield wipers.
Yes.
Pretty
Yes.
much. They found another excuse to get you to the dealer.
Yes, but this just feels, at least as of right now, this feels like that, where it's kind of a gimmick. And
It's kind of a gimmick, but it could work.
I mean, like, if it works out to where you never have to, like, look at any rain on your windshield,
Yeah.
then yes, that's worth
I
it.
mean, that's a possibility, and then also you never have to replace wipers either.
Yes, there is that.
As
What
long
happens?
as they keep working.
But what happens if the beams die or like break or whatever?
Right, of course. That's
Then
probably
how
gonna be
much
another
m-
electronic that's gonna be expensive to fix.
And then it's going to be crazy expensive. Whereas a wiper blade is what, $50 for a pack?
Yeah, not even.
So
Yeah, it's this is the age we're in. I mean, we're just keep adding electronics. Also reminds me of Mercedes, where now in the new S Class you can just wave your hand and it closes the door
dumbest
for you.
Dumbest thing. We've gotten too lazy.
I mean, we're just throwing stuff in here just to throw
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
So.
Can we go back to like simpleton times where?
Oh, I mean, I have a 2002 Lexus.
I
so
know.
That's,
I know.
I love it.
I want.
I love how simple it is.
I want just a chassis, an interior,
Right.
a V8, and a manual transmission
Okay.
that direct the power to the rear wheels. That's all I want, man. It's all. It basically sounds like
So,
my
like-
car, right?
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all I need.
Maybe just a wagon though.
Yeah, in a
V8
wagon.
Wagon manual.
In a wagon, or hatchback.
Yeah.
Shooting brake, I guess technically.
So basically the AMG that you the AMG that was in your used car last week.
Yes, except manual.
Kind of like that.
Except manual.
Getting close.
Yeah. So a CTSV.
CTSV. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
CTSV
So
wagon.
did we just solve what you want for your next car?
I think so. The problem, they're 80 grand.
Yeah, they're very expensive and very rare.
All right. Anyways, what other nonsense have we got this week?
We
dude?
got the WRX,
Oh,
which I think is nonsense.
you do think it's nonsense?
I do. Do you know the details?
I know some of the details. I know it's 271 horsepower. I know it's the Ascent. It's the same FA25 that's out of the Ascent.
Okay.
So it's turbocharged. It's the Ascent XT, Outback XT. Never mind, they don't make a Forester XT anymore. Legacy XT. It's the new
Boxer
XT
4.
engine. Yes, it is a Boxer 4.
Wasn't the? I'm actually not 100% sure. The previous WRX was just like an inline 4, right?
No, it was a
Inline-
Boxer.
It was also.
Yeah, it was a Boxer.
I know.
It just didn't have. So
I know the STI was. But
yeah. So even the WRX was. Every engine that Subaru makes is a
sounded a
Boxer.
bit different.
Huh?
Sounded a bit different.
That's because it used equal length headers.
Okay.
And the
That's
reason
why.
for that is because of the turbo. So the turbo that they're using now is a twin scroll,
Okay.
meaning that in order to use it properly, you have to have equal length headers
Yeah.
on the engine.
Okay.
What
Gotcha.
gave old Subarus that really nice sounding like
Yes.
you know, the rumble,
That's
the
what
Subi
I didn't
rumble.
like about the previous WRX is that it sounded like an inline 4. pretty
Yes, and the
Sound like
previous
regular car.
and all other WRXs and STIs
much. Right.
have always used an unequal length header, which is what gives them that
Gotcha.
rumble.
Okay. I'm glad you were able to clarify that for me.
Mm-hmm. So this one,
We'll go back to kind of the old sound.
no.
Okay.
This is still going to have an equal length header.
Ah, well, they missed a chance there.
I fully agree with you.
Dang.
And I was having a conversation with somebody earlier. I'm not going to name who it was. And we were kind of talking about the new WRX, right? And we were talking about a few different aspects of it. We were talking about the design. We were talking about like the actual like performance stuff, and there's a lot that I like about this car, and there's a lot that I cannot stand about this car.
Okay.
As somebody that likes the WRX at heart.
Right.
And the styling, generally speaking, I actually like. I feel like I'm on the
Yes.
lesser half
Yes.
of people that like the styling.
You are.
I really like the interior because you have
Okay.
you have the big 11.6-inch screen out of the Outback in the Legacy.
Yeah, for the most part, the interior kind of looks the same, just with the tablet interior.
I mean, yeah, it basically is otherwise
Which
the
is
same.
fine.
But I mean, as long as you get that tablet, I'm happy. That tablet
Okay.
is huge. And by huge, I don't just mean like physically big. I mean like it has a lot of functionality.
Yes, yes.
It's a very good system.
Right.
But the freaking wheel arches ruin the styling for me.
I'm okay with black cladding wheel arches on SUVs and crossovers. It looks great on the cross track. I like the cross track.
I like
the
cross track
styling
too.
of the cross track.
But the
doesn't
cross
belong
track
on
is
sports
also
car.
raised.
Exactly.
It's
It
lifted.
doesn't. These wheel arches don't belong on a sports sedan.
No, not at all. And this is meant to be a sport. Yes, it's going to. Yes, you can take it off road.
Yeah, no one's going to.
No one's going to. Don't pretend like this is going to go rock climbing.
No.
All people are going to do is throw mud flaps on it and call it a day. Let's get rid of this freaking
Pretty
cladding.
much. Yeah.
It doesn't need it. What are we going to do? Make a wilderness version of this? We
Oh,
made a
God.
wilderness. We've
That
already.
would be cool.
Something we actually didn't talk about is they did announce a wilderness version of the Forester.
Yes.
And it's just a lift. It's just the wilderness Outback in Forester, guys.
Right.
What are they going to do with the WRX now? Make a fucking freaking.
Oh.
We'll have to blur that.
This is how much we care about this subject, because we do care about these Subarus. We like Subaru, but they kind of make odd choices. They've been making odd choices lately.
They've been making very odd choices lately.
Yes.
They're starting to remind me of Oh, and the worst part
Okay.
of this new car. So they made a new GT trim.
Yes.
Right?
I don't know the details of it, but please explain, because I've heard it's not good the way it's like laid out.
So for the GT trim, they gave you the Recaros, which is awesome.
Okay.
Right? They also gave you electronic dampers,
Okay.
which is huge.
That's
It's the
nice.
first time they've brought electronic dampers to a
that
WRX.
would be a great introduction to the new WRX.
Yep. So the GT trim slots down below the Limited.
Okay.
It's only available with one transmission.
I thought that's what I heard.
The Subaru Performance transmission,
Yeah.
which, by what I've heard and to all extent of my credibility, is a CVT with an oil cooler.
Wow.
Garbage.
Come on. Why would you do that to yourself?
Garbanzo beans.
I was you had mentioned that earlier, and I was saying that would have been nice on the Wilderness Outback.
Yes.
That would have made sense.
You know what
That
would have been
been
nice?
okay.
You know what would have been nice in this car?
A proper automatic.
The one out of the BRZ would be perfect.
There you go. You have access to it,
They literally have access to it.
and they didn't do it.
No.
Come on now. Come on now.
No.
Subaru, but you can't get a manual.
You can get a manual, but
So-
like at the same time, and yes, most people are going to order a
Right,
manual.
but you are right. For the exclusively the GT trim, that's just a bad decision.
Mhm.
That's just not a good decision.
And the fact that that GT trim probably would sell really well
Yeah, it would.
if it had
I
a
would
good
think so.
automatic.
Yeah, just the seats, electronic dampers, and stick shift.
Uh-huh.
That sounds like that'd be a seller right there.
Yeah,
That'd go great.
yeah. If
Dang.
they literally just threw a ZF transmission in there,
Oh, that would have been fantastic. That would've
just
been
like
good.
every other car company is
That
doing
would have
right
been
now.
good.
But Subaru has to stick with their stupid CVTs.
Yeah.
And as you can tell, I'm a little bit passionate about this.
Yeah.
I might be a little bit of a WRX fan, and this is.
I know. I am too. Like, Yeah, I think they could have done a little better.
Like, I'm still holding out for the STI.
Yeah,
Still
I
holding out
do
for
think the
STI.
STI they might be able to recover some of this. But specifically for the WRX, I also have some words to say with the styling. And this is both for this car and the Forester. I do not like the new headlight styling.
See, I actually like the new headlights.
It's the design of the headlights is okay. There's just something about the proportions, about the front bumper between the headlights and the grills, the proportions.
I know what you're talking about.
The sizing of everything. There's
It's
just
too-
something that's off.
It's too far away from the grill.
That could possibly be it. It could be that it's too far away.
I think that's the issue because the grill doesn't look like it's changed size. It looks like just the headlights have
hasn't
changed.
much. I think it's just
And-
because it's further away, it makes the grill more pronounced.
Yeah.
It makes the grills, both of the grills, the lower portion and the
In-
center portion, more pronounced than the headlights.
Instead of giving it the sort of Hawkeye look like the current Outback has,
Mhm.
it kind of gives it more of an anteater look.
Yeah,
It kind of looks like it's like trying to like grab at something.
yeah, it looks off, and they did the same thing with the new Forester too, and I don't like it.
See, I kind of like it though for some reason. Like even though I just called it an anteater, I kind of like the look of it.
I'll have to see it in person.
Again, the biggest issue that I have with this new car is the cladding on the, as far as design goes, is the cladding on the wheel arches.
Really?
I think that needs to go.
That's actually not that big of an issue for me. I mean, I said earlier I don't like it, and I don't. It's not the biggest issue. The front is an issue, and then also the rear.
See, I like the rear too.
The rear just doesn't look Subaru to me.
It looks Honda. I will give you that.
It looks Honda, and then also, even just ignoring that, also I don't like how the rear bumper has so much black plastic.
I don't like that either.
That section is there's just way too much black plastic.
Yeah.
It takes up pretty much the whole bumper.
Yeah.
That
But
part
I was, I was listening, again, person I was talking to earlier. They were talking about it. They said, you know, it's almost like in the video where they're introducing the car, and they were talking specifically about the GT trim. He said it's almost like somebody was in the background screaming, "We didn't listen."
Really?
Because literally they went against everything that every fan wanted.
Right. Yeah. For the most part, the issue is just with design.
Well, and the transmission.
And having the CVT still.
And it's not enough power, so.
Oh, yeah, I guess we should mention that too.
Because the rumor was that the WRX would be, the rumor was that the regular WRX would have 305 horsepower. And then that the STI would
like
have
400 or something.
395.
Yeah. This new WRX has 271.
Which is weak.
And
It's still more than the last car, don't get me wrong.
3 horsepower more.
Yeah.
3 horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
After how many years the WRX has been on sale?
Mm-hmm.
Of the last gen?
Mm-hmm.
Not much at all. It does have a bit more torque, and also it is a bigger engine, so I suspect the torque will also be more filled out.
Yep.
So it'll probably still feel faster.
You know what I see going up in value a lot?
The previous generation?
Yes.
Or at least retaining its value.
Yes.
I would definitely think so, because at least as of right now, I still prefer the last gen.
I do too currently. And obviously I want to keep my judgments reserved for the STI.
Yes.
Because I haven't seen it yet.
The STI, I think they could possibly bounce back a little bit.
Yes, and I did feel as though the previous generation WRX looked very tame by comparison to the STI. Yeah. So if when the STI comes out, it gives it a little bit more of a beefy look, and it doesn't look quite so, I don't know, cross-trekky.
Yeah.
And it looks a little bit more aggressive, and obviously they'll give it a 6-speed manual. Which obviously this one has 2, but like they'll give it with a short shifter, and it'll be close gear ratios and all that kind of stuff. Then maybe it'd be a bit better.
We'll see. I think that's about all I have to say.
Yeah.
About it.
That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
Subaru. I feel like you're GM now.
Oh boy.
Do
I
better.
don't know. That's Ah, man, I don't know if they're quite
Not
at
listening
GM, though.
not listening to their customer base. Who does that sound like to you? Does that sound like GM?
GM's definitely on the list of companies that don't listen.
Yes. That also
Yeah.
sounds like Activision.
That as well. All right, let's talk about another car with a stick that might be somewhat similar to Subaru customers, the Ford Bronco.
Ooh.
And this is something I'm happy about, is that there's been a significant number of people buying the new Bronco with the stick shift,
That's surprising.
which is really cool to see. That is super cool to see.
I must be honest though.
What's that?
If I'm getting an SUV, personally, I'm going with an auto.
I would probably definitely consider the auto as well.
And this is coming from somebody that currently drives a manual.
Right. I can see the appeal though. I can definitely see the appeal. The one thing that is also like going against buying a manual for this vehicle is that for the upgraded engine for the twin turbo V6 or turbocharged V6, you can't get the manual in there.
Right.
But yeah, even with that said, it's
More manuals are being ordered. Or, well, a large chunk of them.
a decent chunk. It's recorded that 25%.
Wow.
25% of the new Broncos are manual,
That's
at least as of right now.
that's really surprising.
That's a really good chunk. And again, you can't get the more powerful engine with the stick shift. So that's just the 4-cylinder. And that's making up all Bronco sales is 25% with
I
the stick
think
shift.
that's a message to Ford.
I think that's a message to anybody.
Everybody.
reading this. I mean, that's really, really good.
Yeah. That's a strong chunk. That's like
Yeah.
Porsche numbers of
Yeah.
manuals.
For an off-roading SUV.
Yeah.
And again, you can't get the more powerful engine with the stick shift. Just the
BMW, are you
4-cylinder.
listening?
Oh,
BMW,
man.
are you listening?
I know. Man, that's super cool.
That is
I was
awesome.
so happy to see that.
That is awesome.
There's still a few models where the stick shift is living. Like I said, the Porsches, STIs as well.
Yep.
That's just always great to see.
Yep, absolutely, dude. It's great. All right. What have we got next? What do you
Let's man, I feel like we're always talking about Porsche. We have 3 articles that are
totally
related to Porsche.
I'm totally okay with praising Porsche.
I know.
Because
Like, look, I'm not even necessarily trying to pick all Porsche articles, but they just be doing the coolest stuff.
Porsche just stay doing Porsche things, man.
Yeah.
It's not at all like GM.
No. Not at all.
I love roasting GM now.
Oh, we do
Oh,
it.
speaking of GM, there was a new vehicle from GM that got announced.
Oh, did they?
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
This morning. Well, it's not a new vehicle. It's like a trim of a vehicle.
Okay. What's that?
Silverado ZR2.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
Got announced this morning,
more
I think.
off-road focus.
Yep.
Kind
Guess
of
what it
raptor.
doesn't. Guess what it doesn't have.
A supercharged V8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess
that
what
would've
else it
been
doesn't
cool.
have?
What's that?
Baja suspension.
Yeah.
Guess what else it doesn't have?
A good interior.
A wide body. That too, though. Guess what else GM didn't do?
What's that?
Listen to the consumer base.
Oh yeah. It's a half attempt at a Raptor competitor, let alone a TRX competitor.
Yeah. Honestly, they need to make a ZR1 version of the Silverado.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
And throw in the literal ZR1 engine from the Corvette.
Yeah, an LT4.
And wide body it. Yes.
Yeah.
Wide body
They
it.
definitely could do it.
Yes, they 100% could do it, but they won't do it
No.
because they don't listen to the consumer base.
No, or just do cool stuff in general.
Yeah.
Except for the Z06 that's coming out.
And then the eventual
about it.
ZR1 and the eventual.
Yeah. Pretty much just the CA
Zora.
is like the only GM product we care about right now.
They
And
ruined the
also
Camaro.
Cadillac
And they ruined the
And
Camaro.
those-
Yeah, the Cadillacs.
and the Black Wings.
They ruined the
That's
Camaro,
right.
so I don't know. I lost my faith in GM. Anyways, back to Porsche.
Yes. Earlier this week, Porsche came out with like a concept car. It is actually a real car that they made, and it's kind of based on the Taycan, and that is their Mission R. I guess it's called electric racer. No, just the Mission R.
Yeah, it's just Mission R. It's a race car.
Basically, it's completely stripped out. I think it has like 1,000, a little over 1,000 horsepower.
Yep.
Fully electric. Can go 186 miles an hour, or at least 186. And
do you know why they built this? I do know.
There is one reason that we will talk about, but go ahead.
I was gonna see if you knew why. So, they're making a spec race series.
Yes.
Which is sick.
I'll let you explain that part.
So,
if you know any details.
I don't know the specifics of it. I don't know specifically like what all they're going to do with it.
Right.
But essentially, it's going to be the first like sort of GT car race series that involves electric cars.
Yeah.
Because right now, obviously, there is an electric car series, like electric car race series,
right.
Formula E. But
it's not based on like any kind of street legal.
No, it's not. Although they do race on streets.
Right.
So they race on streets with street tires.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool.
That is interesting.
I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of cool that they race with street tires.
Yeah.
But this series here is going to be, more of a GT car, which means that, it's not open wheel, and, well, for now at least, it's going to be one make. So it's Porsche's Mission R.
Yeah.
But that's mainly because only one exists. Like one GT platform that's all electric exists right now. So
for now, but there could be others that join.
I would love to see like electric cars and gas cars kind of like on the same racetrack, like on a somewhat level playing field, because it'd be very interesting, because you'd have the gas cars that are going to be better down the straights, but then you'd have the electric cars that'll be better out of corners, and you'll have the gas cars would be better generally through the corners, like they'd be able to carry more speed through corners because they're lighter.
Right.
Like, I feel like that would be a very interesting sort of race series.
That would be very interesting. That'd be very entertaining to watch. You would have some really great clips come out of that.
Absolutely. Like imagine the differences in battles between like racing in Monza versus racing at like Laguna Seca. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the difference would be crazy. Like the battles that would come out of that would be so freaking sweet.
Right.
I feel like, at least. Kind of like the old touring car days where you had Camaros and Minis battling it out.
Yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, I love that. That's super cool. By the way, if you haven't seen pictures of this thing, you should definitely check it out, because also the design of this thing, it's so detailed, and it just looks really, really cool. Great
it has like
design
50 glass panels.
Yeah. Big ones too.
Yeah.
The design of this thing is just super
sick.
Super cool.
Super sick.
Another reason that I wanted to bring it up too is that Porsche also stated that just like how the Mission E concept previewed the Taycan, this is also supposed to preview potentially
another SUV
later down the line.
Yeah, which I expected. It would, because I know that there's been talk about making the Macan all electric.
Well, okay, so yes, but not particularly with this.
Really?
This could potentially be related to an electric 911 in the future.
See, this doesn't really resemble a 911 to me.
So maybe not the 911.
It more
but
so
an electric two-door.
Okay, because this more so looks like a two-door SUV to me. It's got the proportions.
You think so?
I think so.
No, it just looks like a two-door Taycan.
It looks like an SUV.
What are you talking about? That thing is low.
Okay, yeah, the actual like. Yeah, yes, because it's a race car. It has to be low, but like it looks like it's tall.
I think that's just because of the batteries.
Could be. I don't know. It looks way taller than it should be.
That looks about as tall as a Taycan.
Does it though? I don't think it does.
I think it does. I just think that the front end is very squared off, except for the
It could be the livery.
Kind of slopes down.
It could be the livery too.
Yeah, I don't think this is really like crossover. Like this is definitely more car like.
Okay, it looks crossover-y to me.
This to me with what Porsche stated looks like this is also previewing a two-door electric sports car.
Which I'm fine with.
Which could either be a Cayman 911 or a new model entirely.
Right.
Do you have any thoughts about that?
Not really.
I think it'd be cool.
I would hope that for now they would make it a whole new model.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's what they will do.
I don't think it's time to kill off the 911 as a gas-powered car.
No. Although we do have the hybrid coming, but yeah,
the hybrid is
now,
not full electric.
Well, yeah, definitely not. Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is potentially inciting of a two-door new model coming maybe 2-3 years down the line.
Yeah, I would be okay with that.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I think right now, I don't think anybody does the electric game. I mean, you could argue Tesla, sure, but I don't think anybody does the electric game better than Porsche because they just have such a dynamic, like, driving experience.
Yeah,
that they
like
make
an
it
attainable
they make it the most entertaining.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Because unless you're going straight with most electric cars, like that's the most fun you can have is just accelerating.
Yeah,
and that gets boring.
Well, I do want to present this article to you.
Oh no.
And that is that the Tesla Model S Plaid is now the fastest electric vehicle around the Nürburgring.
You're joking.
Officially. I'm not.
Didn't we bet on this?
Huh?
Didn't we bet on this?
I told you.
What did we bet on? What did we bet?
We bet that the Tesla Model S Plaid would beat the Taycan Turbo S.
No, I know, but like, was there stakes?
I don't think we did.
Do I owe you anything?
I can double check, but I told you it would beat it. And it beat it quite a bit.
How bad?
I believe, so the shortest time is 7 minutes and 30 seconds. The Taycan Turbo was 7 minutes 42 by 12 seconds.
You know what Porsche's gonna do?
Taycan Turbo GT. Absolutely. But that was also what we talked about. We talked about if Tesla does beat them,
yep,
Porsche's going to come out with a new
and
Taycan.
it'll be within the year.
Probably. And it will come back and beat it. But
and then,
hey man, I said it. As long as it handles somewhat decently, the vast amount more power that the Model S Plaid has, it would make up for it.
I guess so. Dang, I was wrong.
Beat it by 12 seconds.
I guess me and just my Tesla hatred couldn't get past the.
Yeah. And by the way, it is confirmed. It was fully production, like it says it right here. Tesla Model S Plaid just set official world speed record for production electric car at Nürburgring, completely unmodified, directly from factory.
Interesting.
Yep. No silly business going on. And also keep in mind that Tesla has also been spotted at the Nürburgring with an even more aggressive version, with a wide body, I think some aero. So even if Porsche does come back, Tesla is going to try to come back too. But I kind of agree with you, which I already know you're probably thinking, is that if Porsche really tries, it's going to be very hard for Tesla.
They're going to bring it down to like 7 minutes.
I don't know about that, because the Taycan's heavy, but I think they can come back and do 7:22.
I
think that's the number I'd give it.
I think they'll go even quicker than that. Just knowing Porsche, whenever they put their head to it and like actually go for a record, because did they go for the record before? Yeah, but like at the same time it was like a announcement model, right?
Yeah, and also maybe this is somewhat strategic by Porsche, but also back when Porsche did do this, they actually didn't use a Turbo S.
Yeah.
They used a Turbo.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like, maybe that's their excuse as to, oh, well, that's why. Because it wasn't even our fastest one. We're not even trying.
Yeah.
But it'd probably still be a Turbo S. 12 seconds is a lot to make up.
Yes, it is. But I guarantee you, if they do like a Turbo GT model, bro.
You know they're wanting to.
You know they're going to.
They're going to.
You know that they saw this morning.
Oh, yeah.
They started shouting 9. And they're going, like, they're probably still working right now. Like, most of Germany's asleep right now.
Mm.
And they're probably hard at work right now.
On their 5th cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And they're probably going to come out with something by January.
Yeah. I bet, look, maybe we could do another bet. I bet within 2.5 weeks we'll see a Taycan being spied at the Nürburgring.
I don't know if it'll be that quick.
It could be. It could be
I
just
don't
a
know that it'll
it could
be
be just a
2.5.
Turbo S with a big wing stitched to it and a wide body. Like it won't look good, but they'll be there.
I don't know that it's gonna be that quick.
2.5 weeks.
I'm thinking a month and a half.
I don't know because Porsche also they're smart. They knew this is coming.
Yes,
They
but
knew it was coming.
I still think it'll be closer to a month and a half.
Man, I don't know. Porsche's
think-
gonna be eager.
I think it's gonna be like a month and a half.
They're gonna be eager.
I know. But I think this is gonna be like a month and a half that we
Yeah.
gotta wait until Porsche is like, all right, you know what, guys, F you. We're taking this back, and you ain't coming for it.
Right. One big question about our supposed Turbo GT that we have in our imagination is will it actually have any more power?
Yes,
You think they'll figure
I
it out?
do.
You think they'll figure it? Because a lot of manufacturers are still behind on the EV game.
Yeah.
But you think they'll figure it out?
I do. And also, you got to remember that this Turbo S
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of power.
Yeah.
It was 750. This Tesla has like over 1,000.
1,000, yeah.
So I guarantee you that Porsche is going to be like, all right, you know what? They'll pull a 918. They'll give it 900 horsepower.
Possibly.
And then they'll say, oh, it's only, it's 100 less. It's going to be slower.
Yeah. And also knowing Porsche, they'll think of everything.
Yep.
And maybe they'll even come up with some kind of better, different type of motor that they can also engineer, and also the transmission.
Yep.
Tesla still has not implemented anything like a 2-speed transmission or anything. Porsche can maybe even go deeper with that.
Maybe Porsche could do like because right now they have like a low gear and a high gear, right? So high gear for continued acceleration at higher
and
speeds.
then at a high speed.
So
it
what if
switches
they were to create like a 4-speed where you just get extra acceleration like you would in a regular car
right
per gear?
If that's how it works.
I mean, I would assume that's how it works.
Yeah, I mean that's
as you get to the top of the
that's why
gear.
they did the 2-speed in the first place.
Yeah, but like as you get to the top of the gear, it kind of runs out, and so then you need more acceleration, and so you go to the next gear.
It's possible. The main thing is definitely going to be suspension work, making it lighter, all that stuff. You already know that's going to happen, but improvements to the battery is a big question mark.
Huge question mark, but it's Porsche, so my faith is more than there.
Okay.
What else have we got?
Porsche again. But
sweet.
the main subject isn't Porsche, it's Lotus.
Ooh.
And why we're talking about Lotus is we already know there's a few new models coming out. They have the electric hypercar, and then they also have the new Evora.
Yep.
Or
No,
Emira.
not Evora.
Sorry.
Emira.
Yes.
And the
replacing-
Avaya.
Yes.
The Avaya is the all-electric hypercar,
Mm-hmm.
and they have an SUV coming. I did know that.
Yes, and that's what we're talking about. And it looks like it's going to probably compete somewhere in the Macan range, and I am really excited about this
I have two.
because I love the Porsche Macan.
I
By
do
the
too.
way, I think it's one of the best dailies you can get right now.
I agree.
It's such a great package.
It's Porsche. Do you expect anything less?
Of course not. But Lotus, I'd really love to see this Lotus SUV. Mind you, when the Emira was revealed, there was a big improvement to the interior. So I think interior-wise, it'll be halfway decent. And then Lotus just knows how to make a good driving car as well.
Yeah.
This also reminds me of the conversation that we had months ago about the fact that Porsche kind of doesn't have like a direct competitor. Not like BMW and Audi or BMW and Mercedes, where they're all like they're very close in line.
Yeah.
Porsche doesn't really have any quite direct competitors. The closest is maybe like Maserati.
And Maserati realistically should be
They
a
should
direct
be.
competitor to them.
Yeah,
But
right. But they're
Maserati
owned by
hasn't
FCA.
made. Yes. Well, Stellantis now.
Sorry.
And who knows? Maybe under new ownership, like Maserati will turn stuff around.
And that's what
But
we had talked about.
During their time under FCA, they did nothing good. They made an outdated convertible and coupe, and then they made a SUV that used Dodge Dart parts. So
Right. It drove good.
It drove
but
well.
It's just
It
like,
sounded good.
When you're at Porsche's level, you need to get everything good.
Everything has to be good if you're going to compete with Porsche.
Exactly. And even just to compete with Mercedes and BMW and Audi, because even though they're less expensive,
Yep.
they didn't feel it
Nope.
per se.
Nope.
So yeah, we were talking about that months ago about how like Porsche doesn't quite have like a direct competitor. It has somewhat competitors, but nothing that's really in line. But it looks like Lotus is kind of looking to fill in that spot.
I would
with
be okay with
sports
this.
cars and with this SUV as well.
I would totally be okay
And
with
I'm
this.
really excited for that.
And I don't know if you noticed on this screen, there's that SUV. Scroll down. Notice that's a different headlight.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
They're planning 2 SUVs.
That almost looks like sedan.
I think that was an SUV. I think that's a crossover.
This one's definitely an SUV /
Yes.
crossover. That one's definitely. I don't know. We'll just.
I think that's more of a like Macan-sized vehicle, and then the other one's more of a Cayenne-sized.
Possibly. Also, it's possible that they'll go straight into electric, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, that's
So-
100% what's happening because they've already said that the Emira is the last gas-powered Lotus that they're going to make.
Oh, right.
So
So yeah,
everything
this is fully
else.
electric, and although not official,
Yep.
but Porsche Macan's becoming electric.
Yep.
And actually, it's probably going to happen next year.
Yep.
And also, I theorize that the Macan Turbo is probably going to be the fully electric one.
I think you're
Which
probably
is why the
right.
newest generation only has a GTS. I'm really excited for that. That's gonna be very cool, and it's just great to see Lotus finally like kind of coming up.
And yeah, and not only that, but doing it in style. Like
Yeah,
this is like the Emira and the Avaya are the most stylish Lotuses that I can ever think of, and I love Lotus. Like I think Lotus. I mean, maybe you could say the what's the name of it? The submarine, the Lotus submarine. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
I can't think of the name of the car.
Yeah, I don't remember either, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Why can't I think of the name of the James Bond Lotus submarine? I'm literally picturing it in my head. This is bad. What is
Is that
it?
what it's called? Oh, a Spirit.
Yo, the Esprit. The
Esprit,
Esprit.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So
was-
the later version of the Esprit,
Yeah.
in my opinion, is one of the best Lotuses ever, like aesthetically.
Yeah, it's a good looking one.
Specifically the Esprit Turbo, because the Esprit Turbo gave it a little bit wider of a body,
Mhm.
and you got a turbo, and so stupid power to the rear wheels in a mid-engine car that sent it just sideways. It was stupid.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So I think that this like the track that Lotus is on right now is just perfect.
Yeah, now they've kind of got the funding to do all this, so they're going all in for it. I can't wait
And
for this to pop up too.
Speaking of like sort of boutique manufacturers going for bigger brands,
What's
is
that?
Aston Martin like
Oh yeah.
going after Ferrari. I think it's like the
Oh,
coolest
gosh.
freaking.
Yeah, all their new sports cars coming out.
They just
Oh.
look so cool too.
Oh, they really do.
They look
They look
so
timeless.
freaking cool.
They look like
do.
they're gonna stand the test of time.
Yes, 100% yes. And
They're both functional and just really good looking.
and if they prove to be even remotely reliable,
Mm-hmm.
then I think that they are going to outsell Ferrari.
Ooh. Really?
I think so by the end of the decade.
By the end of the decade, okay.
I think that by the end of the decade, you could see Aston Martin outselling Ferrari.
Oof. I mean, that's a big one.
Yes, but if their cars perform, and if their cars look as good as they do,
Yeah.
and if they are reliable,
Right.
I don't see why they wouldn't. They
We'll see.
also have the heritage of Ferrari.
But Ferraris.
I know Ferrari
Ferrari's
is
up
Ferrari,
there.
but Aston Martin is also Aston Martin. They have their
A little
own
bit.
legacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The one thing, like, if you're comparing years of sales combined, the one thing that Aston Martin does have an advantage of is that they've came out with an SUV well before. And as we know, SUVs bring in a crap ton of money.
Yes, but my
So,
my
that's one
point is
advantage
my
they
point
do
is not necessarily that they're going to outsell them over the entire
Okay.
decade.
Okay.
By the end of the decade, they will be outselling them.
For that year, but a decade from now.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. That's a big one, and it's gonna take some time to see that happen.
Yeah, it'll be a decade. So we have 10 years to be able to figure out if that prediction is true.
All
We'll
right,
probably have
join
forgotten
us
it.
on episode
9,212.
We'll see you guys then. Well, that's it for articles, and now we are going to move on to the finale of our tournament.
And you know what I've just realized?
What's that?
I can't look at my poll
Why is that?
because my phone's up there.
Oh.
I'm looking at it. Hi, guys.
Well, hopefully we won't have to. Hopefully we won't have to pull it out, but we will see. So we have the Nissan Z.
Yep. The brand new one, the brand new Nissan Z, which I think is a phenomenal car.
Yes.
And
the BMW M2.
yes.
Which is also a phenomenal car.
Yes.
Potentially the best BMW you can buy right now.
Yes. So
at least for an enthusiast.
this is a very good finale, I think.
And it's also quite surprising because the Z was the sleeper.
Yes.
It's not even in the price range.
It's
that
like
we
40
set out
grand.
For. Correct. And the M2 is like 60.
Speaking of which, I found out recently that when benchmarking the Z, they benchmarked it against the Supra.
I mean, I can see that.
I mean, yeah, of course, but like, I think that that's like perfect because,
Of course.
you know, overpriced BMW
Right.
with a Toyota badge from across the street
Yeah.
of Nissan. You know what I mean? Like, it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Nissan did well. I'm proud.
So, do you have a choice between these two cars? Because this is a really hard decision, and the fact that we kind of chose cars that kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
Talking about two well-balanced, rear-wheel drive, manual with option,
Yep.
and front engines, about 400-ish horsepower on
Yep.
both of them.
Yep.
They're both very similar.
Yep.
Which I think we're starting to realize what we both like.
Yep.
Which is these two cars.
Yep. Me personally, if in this particular scenario, price is no issue, I'm going with the BMW.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because it is just a better, well thought out chassis.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Z, although it has been heavily reworked, is still the 370Z chassis
Mm-hmm.
at heart.
Yeah.
That being said, if price is an issue and you're looking to be in the $40,000 range, well, you can't get an M2 for $40,000
Right.
new.
Yeah.
But you can get a Nissan Z for $40,000 new. So, and shoot, the fact that I'm even comparing the two is proof that this is probably a dang good car.
Yeah. Especially for the money.
But this is not a $40,000 challenge. This is a $70,000 challenge.
50 to 70. Yeah.
So, for that purpose, I am going with the M2
Yeah.
because I think it is just it will prove to be an overall better chassis.
Yeah.
You have a slightly shorter wheelbase on it, I do believe, and I mean, although I love the look of both of them, like the M2 just has that aggression to it that I don't think the Z quite does. The Z is more of an elegant look.
That and also kind of retro too.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
But yes, specifically the challenge was 50 to 70.
Yes.
And so even though that is quite remarkable that out of all the cars we chose, the Z made it this far, the M2 is gonna win because I'm choosing it as well.
I expected that.
Yes. The Z is going to be fantastic for the price when it comes out. It has the power. It has the overall characteristics that we look for in a sports car. But like you said, the big drawback is that it is still technically based off of the 370Z, which is probably going to be its biggest flaw, if it is going to be like a huge flaw. And the M2 is nearly zero compromise sports car.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a stick shift. It has an absolutely fantastic inline six, probably one of the best six cylinders ever made. The chassis is fantastic, and it's just hard to beat.
Yeah, that's another thing. I love the B58 engine.
Yeah,
in itself.
and BMW
Like,
just makes great six cylinders. They have been for decades.
well, you had the S54
Yeah.
That was a bit of a stain.
Mm. The one in the M2 is fantastic.
Yes, the one in the M2 is amazing.
So, yeah, for the rules that we laid out in the challenge, the M2 is going to win.
I agree.
So, in that one over a C8, the Hellcat TTRS, Camaro ZL1, there were some very great competitors in here.
Yeah, Hellcat. I don't remember if he said Hellcat or not.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Porsche Cayman.
Oh yeah. Although,
it was a base Cayman.
if we were talking a higher price range, Cayman might have.
Probably would have.
But we were just talking about a Cayman S.
Yes.
Which was already pushing the budget. I think it was
Yes.
like a 72. I think.
No, we were talking about a base Cayman, I think.
No, we said Cayman S.
Did we say Cayman S?
Yes, which I also just drove a few days ago. It was
How'd you
great.
like it?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
They're awesome cars.
Yeah. But anyways, M2.
Yeah.
That's your winner.
M2 takes the dubs.
Yeah, I don't really have much else to say.
I really don't either, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just a great car. But I guess, is it time to close out then? Do you have anything else you want to do?
That is it.
That's it? Well, dang, sweet. I can go to bed, right?
You have to drive home first.
Shh, let's not talk about that part. I don't want to go through. Today, I don't feel like changing gears. I'm not going to lie.
And have the V8 ringing in your ear for a little bit.
I still want the V8.
Well,
Just
that's
not
probably,
so much
the only thing that's getting you home.
Just not so much the shifting.
It's probably the only thing that's keeping you awake.
Honestly, you're probably right. Might have to roll the windows down just to stay alive. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. Of course, if you did enjoy it, be sure to give us a like, rating, and share the podcast, of course, with one of your favorite people, specifically car guys, like I said earlier. Of course, if you did enjoy it, follow us over on Instagram at the Next Apex Podcast. Follow Donovan at D Tompkins Media. Follow me at Josh_Bayless. But until next time. And I just completely screwed up this outro. As always, we will see y'all on the next Apex.
Nicely done.
I'm sleepy.